equal rights amongst the
No,
sexes.
I'm telling you, I'm a feminist. Okay,
With all the misogyny and everything going on,
what we should attack is the issue, because a lot
over the world. Feminism is from God.
When you think about feminism, you should really think about your mom, your sisters, your aunties, your closest friends, and like you guys, your girlfriends and all that. Okay, so yeah.
And we do not hate men. Okay, we do not hate men. We will marry. You men, one I ever worry. It is not a competition. We are not competing with you guys. No.
I agree. But if you're making this argument, then you should also be able to go down on knee, propose to a man, pay the groom price for a man.
Hi guys, I'm glad you're here to watch this video. Feminism everywhere. Some people are for it, some people are against it, some understand it, some don't really get it. So I decided to ask people to share their understanding of feminism. And here's what they have to say.
my name is Olivia. If you don't know, I'm telling you, I'm a feminist. Okay, so when people hear the word feminist, they usually go for the explanation, oh, she hates men, no, they hate men. But no, that's not who a feminist is. That's not what feminism stands for. Feminism is basically fighting for equal rights, right? For both genders. What we are trying to say is that no matter what gender you are, it shouldn't be an excuse for you to be given an opportunity or denied an opportunity. Do you get it? But as usual, when men hear this, they start thinking, oh my God, they are attacking us because, of course, everything has to be about the man. Nothing has to be about the woman. So that is why most people think feminism is like an anti-men kind of movement. But no, that's not it. In a world where it's like, it's a man's world, right? Is that not what people say? We are trying to say, no, it should be for both genders. That's all.
Feminism is so broad, no, people don't really understand it, and no one can actually put a point on what feminism is, because everyone has their own agenda and their own belief and their own desires and goals when it comes to feminism. But you know, when you think about the whole concept, it's not actually a fight against men. You know, people actually think women are trying to fight, take over from men, trying to take a big piece of the cake. Actually more of a movement. Okay, feminism is kind of more of a movement by women to, you know, tell and show that guys see them as some form of equal. Okay, they want to tell you that they can also do as much, and then to let you understand that they are not to be how do you say, they are not to be made of some kind of an object. Okay, because from back then in the ancient times until now, women have always been made the object. Okay, they are the wife, the trophies, the wealth. Women are mostly just picked up and used some in a way, because that's how it has always been in the ancient time. But today's modern woman is trying to tell you that they are not objects. They can do as much as you can do. When you ask of my opinion, that's what I think. It is more of a movement to tell you that they can do as much as you can do in their own way. Okay, they are not saying that if you lift 50 bags of cement together as a man, I don't know any man that can do that. But if you can lift something like that as a man, a woman can also lift it in her own way. Everything that men can do, women can do it in their own way. They do it in their own way, and it works out very nice and perfectly. Like, you know, sometimes men don't even do things so perfect like women can do. But most of the time, women are just put aside because they are women. They think they are weak. They are fragile. Women have to sit aside. Women have to wait for the men to bring it home and all that. And what these women are trying to tell you guys is that they can actually do this. Okay, don't objectify them. Don't make them the the objects at home and everything. I think it's very important that we support feminism. Okay, that's what I think about feminism, and I think that it's a good movement, and I think we men should actually support feminism. When you think about feminism, you should really think about your mom, your sisters, your aunties, your closest friends, and like you guys, your girlfriends and all that. Okay, so yeah, think about them and understand. You've seen how much they can do, and you've seen how great they are, and you realize that no, feminism is actually a good movement, and it's a big deal, and we should actually support it.
My understanding of feminism is equal rights amongst the sexes. The sexes here means the male, the female, the boy, the girl, or the woman or the man. So many people have the wrong idea about feminism. Feminism is not about belittling the men. It's not about women being superior than men. It's about equal rights. The men are here and we are also here. It's not about saying that we are better than the men. It's just about being heard. It's about empowering ourselves. It's about being independent. It's about learning survival skills that will make us survive. We don't need to depend on a man to survive. It's all about empowerment. It's not about belittling the men. It's not about being better than the men. I believe it's equal rights, but places more emphasis on women's rights. Places more emphasis on the women's rights. Because in the past, our rights were not regarded. We were not allowed to do a lot of things because we are supposed to be in the kitchen. That's what they said. But because of feminism movements, all of that has changed. We can now work, we can make our own decisions, and it's a very good thing.
I understand feminism to be women having the same rights and opportunities as men. And for me personally, I think every individual under the sun, irrespective of the person's gender, irrespective of the person's political background, irrespective of the person's race, religious or cultural background or position, they deserve the same rights and opportunities as long as they are capable of fitting well into them. And I don't believe the facts or the what people say or perceive women to be, that is being generally weak. Is there any truth in that? Yeah, women are perceived to be generally weak, but not all of them. There are some of them that are very strong. I'd like to ask this question: are men all strong? No, there are exceptions. So why do we give equal opportunities and rights to men whilst not all of them are strong or capable, and we deny women of that? I think when we create, or when we tend to create a gender role and expect everyone to be able to fit into it, that is where we get it all wrong, because not everyone can fit into it. So I think the reason why there is an issue on gender inequalities is the perception that we have, because most of our perceptions are based on traditions, and these traditions no longer serve the evolution of civilization that we find ourselves in. We are evolving and things are changing. So why not we adapt to it? Why don't we give women the same chance that they want? So in conclusion, I would like to say that it's not about the person being a woman, but it's the person capable of doing what we expect. If the person is capable, let's give him the opportunity.
Feminism just makes me so happy. Am I a feminist? Absolutely, proudly. I am. And if it were a crown, I'd wear it on my head everywhere I go, but it's not. So here's my understanding of feminism. Feminism is a human rights movement that is in favor of women, but not at the expense of men. Of course, we have our physical frame, our genetic makeup, our chemical system, which set a clear-cut difference between both genders and our abilities. Yeah. But aside that, unlike society has programmed it to be, there's no two boxes. One for men, obviously the bigger one, and another one for women. We just want equality, equal platforms, equal opportunities, equal privileges, equal rights, not just legally. We want to break that social program, that social code, and the way this is how things are done. This is how it's been before. So this is how it has to be. Men, please chill. Women are not trying to rule the world. We are not trying to control the world. We are not trying to dominate the world. We are not trying to take over the world. Feminism is from God. Anybody could be, and everybody should be, a feminist.
Okay, so this is how I understand feminism. It's just an organized activity that protects the interests and the rights of all women, okay, irrespective of their political background, socio-economical interests, or being it their race. Women should be respected just like men should, and they should be offered any kind of opportunity, being it at work or anything, irrespective of their sex. But then what I've observed is that women tend to abuse that privilege. They tend to, the slightest thing that they raise the topic of feminism, I think that should be discouraged. But then aside that, I think women should be respected and protected just like men.
With all the misogyny and everything going on, I identify as a feminist. I believe that girls and boys should be equal. Girls and boys should have equal pay, equal job opportunities. So I think that feminism is a good thing. It doesn't have to be a way for girls to hate on boys or try to make boys feel any less masculine than they need to feel. But I personally am a feminist, and I stand with feminism.
Feminism, I understand it to be the fight for equal rights, equal respect and opportunities for females as there is for males. And it's actually a great thing, because it's something that's going to allow people to express their ability in ways that they can. So if that is a goal, it's okay. As far as it's going to allow people to express themselves and be the full version of who they ought to be, it's okay. My fear about it right now is it's taking a new turn, and it has been turned into a lot of things, to mean a lot of things. So many people claim to be feminists without really understanding what feminism is. There are people who think they have the right to harm another gender because that gender is the cause of their problem. So based on that, they form an ideology that pushes to destroy or pull down or break down one gender for another gender to advance. Now the problem is that if one gender is oppressed, for the other gender to help, you would have to pull them along. But once you make it look like a fight, then you are in for a loss. So as far as you begin to fight males, make them feel like they are the problem. Of course, a lot of people still believe that males are the problem. But personally, I don't think the problem is the gender. Okay, we have the gender and then we have the issue. What we should attack shouldn't be the gender. What we should attack is the issue. Because a lot of problems that females are facing are also caused by other females. Yes, because your father didn't teach you to be in the house and cook for your husband. Your mom will tell you that. So you cannot attack males for something that is a societal problem. When females are oppressed, it is a societal problem. It's not a problem of one person. It's a whole societal problem that we have to deal with. So for me, I think the aspect of making it that toxic, it's a bit worrying. So if you can look at it in a way that it's going to allow everybody to express their individuality in a full way, it's okay. But if it's to attack one particular person and make them feel that, yeah, you are the problem, then actually it's another problem that we're going to create on our own. So that's what I think about it.
My understanding of feminism is equality and equity. Let's remember, opinions are not facts. That is what I understand. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Let's not confuse equality with physical strength. Okay, naturally, men are stronger than women. Boom, bam, bam, fact. So don't come and tell me that if you're a feminist, that means if a man can carry 20 cement, a woman should be able to carry 20 cement. Or feminism? No, bro, that is not feminism. That's not what we are talking about. That is not what we are striving for, bro. We are not competing with anyone here. What we are striving for is equal opportunity, equal right. So if a man and a woman are doing the same work, they should be able to pay. They should be able to pay the same amount of money. That's what we're talking about. If a man can vote, a woman should be able to vote. Equal opportunity. That is basically what we are talking about. Because gone were the days that women could not vote. Can you imagine that? Women could not vote when there were women, men, and children in the world. But women could not vote. But men could vote. How? So many men make our decisions for us. So many men make our rules for us. It would be great and nice for a woman to be part of the decision-making process. What can we do to ensure this, to ensure equity? That is what feminism is about. Fairness. That is my understanding of feminism, to make it short. And we do not hate men. Okay, we do not hate men. We will marry. Men, one are ever worried. It is not a competition. We are not competing with you guys. No, that is not what it is. We love men. Okay, so that feminism almost they hate men. This and this. That is not what feminism is about. And it will be super nice. It will be super great that you guys understand us and hear us and then support us. Okay, so it's not a fight. We're not fighting with you. Bet you, I am a feminist. Don't play with me.
I think feminism, against popular belief, for me is more like a fight against social injustice, where a group of people are not treated fairly simply because of their gender. And so in this case, we are talking about ladies or women. Of course, I think it's unfair, and like any social injustice, we need to fight it, right, with the right tools, and making sure in the process that we don't create another injustice. And so we treat this injustice consistently. What I mean by being consistent in our treatment or the way we deal with this social injustice is this. For example, we say men and women should be treated equally. And for me, for example, I don't think it is fair for a woman to drop her name simply because she's getting married to me, right? So you don't need to stop being called X because you're getting married to Y. Right, that is fair. But if you are making this argument, then we should also be able to make the argument that a woman can propose to a man, right? It's only fair to make that analogy. So if we say rules at home should not be gendered, and that a man can also do house chores, a man can cook, a man can, he's not helping, he's actually doing something that he needs to do to take care of the home, right? And so that is fine. It means that at the same moment or at the same time, the woman should also be able to commit financially and do things, because I think we've probably inherited this from the paternalistic or patriarchal society that we live in. And so we tend to give some rules to some people because of their gender. And I think it's time we moved past this, right? It's very important as people, as we potential parent or as parents, we educate our children in this regard. I have a mom, I have sisters, I probably have daughters one day, and I think it is fair that they are treated fairly, right? And so I don't think feminism is a fight for women. I think it's a social injustice that all of us have to be part of. The battle or the fight is a movement that I think as human beings, for a very balanced society, we all need to be part of. But we need to be very consistent the way we treat this, so that in fighting against unfair treatment of women, we don't tend to unfairly treat men. If not, we create another injustice. And I think that is where most people have a problem with. They are not able to dissociate these two, and they are not able to understand clearly what we mean by being feminist. And people tend to think that once you say you are feminist, it means that you are against men. And that is clearly not it. We are just against an unfair treatment of a group of people based on their gender. And in the process, we are making sure that we don't unfairly treat the other group of people which in this case is the men. You see ladies who tell you, I am a feminist. I don't think it is fair for us to be treated this way. I don't think we should still be in the kitchen whilst the man is sitting in the hall watching the TV. I agree. But if you're making this argument, then you should also be able to go down a knee, propose to a man, pay the groom price for a man, and not expect the man to necessarily, because that is the expectation, right? And so when you ask a man to take you out, to buy you stuff, or you think that it's the man's responsibility to pay your bride price, and at the same time you are saying that you don't need to drop your name for the man's name after marriage, then I think we got a problem. And so for me, I think when we are in this movement, in this fight, we need to be consistent, and so that we can create this kind of balanced society for our children, for our daughters, and for our sons.
For our children, our sons, and our daughters. How do you also understand feminism? Let's hear you in the comment section. Bye!